Who's the only other guy that has long hair in here? So, what is up, everybody? MuseMe TV. This is a shitty intro. There's nothing going on here. We're back, episode 131, I think. I don't keep track anymore. I'm in the hundreds. That's what's up. Welcome back, everybody. We are here with Irvin. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, broski.
Weren't you just talking about the punane? The punane. You tell me something about the little punane.
I got a little bit of a punani last night, so I'm pretty chipper today, you know?
Dope.
It's a good day. The day after, unless it was like really bad. A bad encounter.
Then you're not into it?
You're just like, man, last night really sucked. But no, last night was pretty good.
What's up?
But yeah, man.
So you did put a message on there. What was the first thing you said? Skinwalkers?
Skinwalkers, yeah, man.
Is that a topic you want to talk about?
Dude, I've been wanting to fucking talk about. Like every so often, I will get into skinwalkers because that's like one of those.
You'll get into skinwalkers?
Yeah, like I'll go. Well, I mean, the furthest I've gone is just listen to a bunch of YouTube stories and research it. But I've never like decided I wanted to go into the forest and just.
The Navajo Nation is where they're at.
Yeah,
that's right here.
And Arizona too. There's a bunch of spots here in the Southwest where they're at. But the reality would be a bad idea. Like if I actually went and encountered one and found one, then I'd be kind of like, oh no, this is not what.
But isn't a skinwalker like a shapeshifter?
It's a shapeshifter, yeah.
Yeah. So like, how would you know? He'd just be like a coyote. How could you not know?
So, skinwalkers, according to a bunch of. See, I just watched a bunch of videos about them. So. The research, I didn't take too much of a delve myself other than what other people researched on YouTube videos, but I watched like a fucking shit ton of skinwalker videos today while I was at work. Just had my phone chilling in my shoulder. And they can shapeshift into like animals. They can shapeshift into humans. Like there's methods to this shit. Some of them pick like an animal, like if they're going after an individual or like a group of people. So skinwalkers usually target one person out of that group, and they kind of have them stray away because they can do a bunch of shit like mimic vocal cords. They can read your. I think they can read your mind.
Interesting.
Or take your memories and shit like that. And
all this literally sounds like a fucking reptilian right now. You heard of the reptilians?
Mm-hmm.
The reptilians kind of have the same thing like skinwalkers. I know they're not the same because if you actually were to tell a native person about reptilians, they'll be like, "Oh, that's like a white person version of skinwalkers." Yeah,
it's like, fuck, that's crazy. Skinwalkers are essentially we're human, and they go through a process where they give up their humanity to become this being, and they can choose like.
So it's like a trial or a tribulation kind of thing.
They have to sacrifice somebody.
What the fuck?
I think you have to sacrifice the person you love. Something like that. Like,
is this for the soul stone or something? Jesus.
Right? It sound like some shit and said you're getting turned into a skinwalker, but I hear they have to sacrifice somebody you really love or care about
to become a skinwalker.
To become a skinwalker, because you're essentially trading all of your humanity to become this like being, this crazy deer-like monster human hybrid thing. But fuck, man, I was thinking a good movie. It'd be a good movie.
If there isn't already, I mean,
I've looked.
There's so much movies out there. Come on, dude. I mean, a Korean production.
Maybe I guess, but it's like, but that's
India.
More native. Like that's something like more Native American. That's somebody in a different like country, like Korean or something like. But I guess every culture has their.
Or that's why I feel like somebody else from the culture would make it because they're like, oh, remember that story we heard of Native American culture? Let's make that into a story. Look at. How the fuck did Llorona become a movie on TV? Like an actual... What's going on, Irvin? He got scared of the Lloronas. Oh, my God. I saw her once. But they made a show, or they made a movie. Yeah.
I watched that shit. I was like, of course it's got to be white people that... Like, we're going to break the curse of the Llorona. I'm like, what? But it was alright.
No, it wasn't. I hated that movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I hated it too, but it was like for like something to watch if you want to get shit faced or like make fun of while you're watching it, get stoned.
Yeah, one of those like riff tracks where you just talk over it.
Talk
just
over it.
This is not Mexico.
Yeah,
they're like
this is California. I guess it was Mexico at one point, but it's just like the way they approached it and the way they went about it. I feel like they could have done it better, maybe. Like I would have rather seen a Llorona movie take time. in place, like when she was alive, when the legend was made. I'd rather see a movie about how she was made.
How she became it.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of how she became it, and then a couple of incidents of the Yorona.
Yeah. Like,
you just see her straight up. It's
you could do the whole movie about her becoming, and then just have the credits. You know how when you roll the credits and shit like that. Like, what movie was it? There was this movie.
Every fucking movie.
Well, they do that shit a lot. But what movie in particular that came out recently? That one that was like about the evil Superman kid.
Oh,
like if
Brightburn.
Brightburn.
Brightburn or something like that.
Something like that.
Burn Red or...
No, it's Brightburn. I think it's Brightburn. Pretty sure it's Brightburn, but...
See? I can't look it up because this fucking PC is updated.
But no, I think it is Brightburn. But anyways, at the end of the credit, it shows a kid destroying cities and wreaking havoc and just doing all types of shit as this little fucking evil villain dude. And at the end of the Yorona, if you made it that way, where it shows her becoming, and then you could just have like the end credits showing clips like kids throughout the generation getting fucking swept up by La Llorona, like, oh my god, like.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like news reports or...
Like, you know, at first it's just like going through time, right? Because La Llorona supposedly still happens to this day, right? It's like the boogeyman. Boogeyman was told, like, whenever the legend started, it was a long fucking time ago. Before, like, social media cameras and shit like that. This was like 1800s maybe, like, I don't know. 1700s.
It's an old ass story.
It's old. I don't know how far
I can't see it because my fucking computer is
we can't research
updating.
It. But it is one of those fucking things that go far back. So the credit could just be it going through time, showing the like for at first it's like when La Llorona first starts and she dies and the curse becomes a thing, and she starts devouring the first group of kids. So then it shows that like, oh shit, it's like the group of kids when they're young, and then it goes through time, and then it's like a future generation, and then the future, then until it becomes like modern, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like have like Yorona going through the ages, kind of like at the post credit of, or not the post credit, but the credits I think of God of War, the first God of War game. Like when you beat it and you become Kratos becomes the God of War,
yeah.
And it shows like this little montage of him throughout time after his time, like even starting World War I, II, all the wars in between, his Greek mythology and modern wars. And it just shows the little clips of all of that shit. Like, you could do that with, like, Llorona or something like that. A legend, like the Boogeyman. Well, I think that would have been a better movie. They were just trying to fucking cash grab on some Mexican folk story shit. Like,
what else? What's another one that they've done like that? Lay down.
Pretty sure. I'm waiting for El Concuy to come out, bro.
El Cucuy?
The Concuy.
Because, yeah, I mean, fuck, they could do that with all kinds of shit. With
I mean, there's a bunch of
Chupacabra and shit like that.
But, like, I really want to see, like, good ones. Like, I don't mind them making movies out of this shit, but I'm tired of some of the corny Hollywood shit that they do with these movies. And just, like, I'm tired of seeing a fucking white random family be the ones that defeat this whole fucking, you know, folklore shit. Like, I want to see some more genuine shit. Like, if it's a movie about Skinwalker, it'd probably be better. I mean, in that case, if everybody dies, if I made a Skinwalker movie, everybody would die in the movie.
Yeah.
If it was a group of white people.
And it should be like, there should be some Native American actors in there.
There's got to be, like, if I made it the way I wanted it had to be more than just, like, it had to be a majority Native and, like, a minor fucking, like, white people. Like, maybe 2 white people and, like, 5 Native people. I mean, some of them die and shit like that. But I feel like, because that whole shit is... Like, Native people, like, Navajos don't really like to talk about that kind of shit. They don't talk about it in detail. Like, the ones that are really about their culture and they know...
Well, yeah, they don't say shit.
They don't say shit to anybody who's not Native. So it's like, you're limited to the information that you get, and you can only really get things from motherfuckers that decide they want to tell you. But then those people aren't super into their shit. They're enough into it to know some things, but not enough to really be accepted by the ones who really probably take that shit to, like...
To the grave,
to the grave, like, serious.
Only handed down verbally to my kids.
To kids, or like some people, that just tell their homies, they don't care. Like, I don't give a fuck, I'll tell these stories.
And that's what's crazy to think about too, because as us as humans wanting to know more about history and understand more and shit, like, you would think people would want to keep a record of everything, even Native American culture. Like, it sounds blasphemous, but it should be written down. It should. Like, there's a bunch of stories and mythological things that maybe some of it is, but there's so much more that there's, like, nothing that we know about, like...
Yeah, I mean, there's probably tons of shit going on that we just don't know about, but the fact that we're limited to certain information might be for the best. It's kind of like that Freddy Krueger thing, right? the more people know about him, the more he's alive and exists, and the more people forget about him, he starts to fade away. So the real way to defeat Freddy Krueger is to be completely forget about him. And the only way to do that was to like give everybody those pills that would make them fall asleep, or like not dream. They would fall asleep, but they wouldn't dream, so he couldn't fuck with them.
Yeah. So
and then slowly he loses his power and his ability to exist because people are forgetting about him. And it's just like people, remembering him and thinking about him is what gives him energy to live. So maybe knowing certain information could work like that. Maybe there really is some dark shit out there.
when was that on what Freddy Krueger?
What Freddy Krueger do they?
Because they have so many, but I thought Freddy Krueger, the basis of the story was kids to like overcome their fears, even if it's in their dreams. And then as more Freddy Kruegers come out, then they're like, oh yeah, now we have to push this whole pandemic of medication to kids.
Well, that wasn't Freddy versus Jason. Like that's the theory that they because I don't think they had that shit in any of the original Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but I think Freddy versus Jason is the one that implemented that rule.
The pills.
The pills to make them not be able to dream, so Freddy Krueger wouldn't be able to just enter because he was powerful enough with the people that knew about him to be able to go into dreams of people that didn't know about him. They lived in that area, I guess, in Elm Street or Elm in that whole fucking city. So maybe when everybody forgets about him, he doesn't have the power to go into other people's heads. But that shit's only applied to like the movie, you know, Freddy vs. Jason. But the point I'm making about that whole is just the idea of that. Like if you believe in something or if you can remember a certain thing, you give it the power to exist. Like you ever wonder if like certain things can just like, you know how they say we manifest our own thoughts? Like can you think something into existence, or is there something that's specifically only living because we have it in our consciousness and we know it exists? The only way to really like defeat it or like to protect ourselves from certain information or certain things is to not know about it. Like, you know, that's why the government supposedly keeps certain information away from us, because the majority would probably freak the fuck out and not know how to take that information, kill themselves or kill a bunch of people. So I always wonder about that shit with like spiritual shit. Is there things that if you know about, like if I, like, you know, the whole Constantine thing, how once he finds out that heaven and hell is real, as he gets like a visual interpretation of it, he gets to see, because he tried to kill himself, now he's destined to hell because he didn't have faith. Like he broke the rules of what you're supposed to do, and that's not know if it really does exist, but have faith that it does. So when you die, and if you did have the faith, you go or whatever, shit like that. So is it like, if you believe in something, you believe in that ability to make it exist? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
It's like spiritual. Like, say I fucking went to some like native ground where shit's really like popping with spiritual shit, and I saw some shit that I'm not supposed to see. Like that old guy in Constantine, when he sees the fucking ghost in the mirror and he turns all white and shit, his hair turns white and he like ages super fast. Like maybe knowing certain information isn't good for us because it could destroy us. Like acknowledging that something exists, like how they say a ghost, you know, like a spirit in your house, like in the fucking movies. What movies was it? I'm going off of just movies, but it raises questions like when you know about something, if like there's a ghost in your house and you know it's there and you're fucking with it, trying to get a Ouija board, calling it out, trying to talk to it, you're giving it the power to exist more and fuck with you more because you're inviting it into like your being, I guess, and your realm of reality.
Yeah.
So knowing about something might give it the possibility of making it stronger because you know it exists. It's like weird.
I don't know. There was this thing. Have you ever heard of this thing or this movie called The Secret? The Secret? No. It's kind of this thing where you kind of manifest your own destiny by the way that you believe in it. Mm-hmm. So you can actually, if you believe hard enough and you really want it to happen, it will happen for you because the universe guides it in your way for it to happen, which is kind of like maybe true, but a little bit more on the kind of like, let me sell you a load of bullshit kind of thing as well. Because don't get me wrong, we all believe in certain things and we're like, maybe we should strive to this kind of goal, or maybe we should do this thing. But if we don't do it in a way that we push ourselves, we never get it, right? Yeah. So that's kind of the same thing with like information and stuff like that too. Is like if we really want to know about like what the fuck our brains are made of or what's really like ghost and shit like that, we will try to learn it. Yeah. And when we do learn it, there are going to be those people that are, I guess, skeptical or don't believe. But then there's going to be those people that are just literally, I don't even know what to believe anymore.
Yeah, they question their whole
And I feel that's happening more and more each day.
That's crazy.
Like, there's more people all the time just like, hey, we just invented this, or hey, came up with this. So Dennis, he's actually a science teacher at a middle school, right? And he actually said something that was pretty crazy. He was telling the students about, I guess there's a asteroid field between Jupiter and Mars, right? And there's actually an asteroid there that has water on it. So it's almost like its own little micro planet.
Oh, okay.
So it's weird, dude. What the fuck? There's so much things out there that we don't even know about that can probably literally blow us away.
Oh, bro,
blow us away.
It's probably like we're so used to what we know now, and that's all we know. And like religion tells you, certain religion tells you that we're all that there is. We're it. That's it. And that's fucking crazy. But there's so much shit going around us, like that we probably don't know about. And if we were to find out, like I was listening to a podcast with Joe and David Blaine, and I thought, that shit was dope. I was at work listening to the whole thing, but he talked about sea corals.
Oh yeah.
The whole, I don't know if you watch it, but you know that bit where he talks about sea coral, how they can synchronize. They all like
they
no matter where they're at,
they all like fucking
they do their thing at a certain time. At the exact time, like,
depending on what type it is.
Yeah, it's depending on type because each species has its own time. But most coral, and it's like one of the most oldest living life forms on the planet. They said. Or like fungus. I think it was fungus.
No, fungus was the thing Joe Rogan was talking about.
Yeah.
Because David Blaine brought up the coral.
Yeah.
And then Joe Rogan was talking about the fungus.
Yeah,
because
the fungus.
he had this guy named Paul Statman. He's actually fucking amazing. I've listened to that podcast a few times, but he's a microbiologist, and he actually studies the biology of mushrooms and shit like that. And he was actually talking about how there was actually a connection, the way that the soil tells each of the plants as it's going through.
That's
like,
right.
even if there's a cold front going on right now, it starts telling all the plants throughout the whole vastness of this system that, hey, guys, get ready, here comes this cold front.
Because everybody just thinks dirt, because he was making the point that everybody just thinks dirt's just dirt, but there's things in the dirt, like fungus and shit like that, that just, like you said, it communicates with the rest of the plant. And even helps out plants grow too, like, or plants grow and do their thing and root and all that shit. And it blew my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking crazy. There's so much shit. And he made a point that we always think we're super important because of what we can do technology wise. But there's so much shit going on in this planet. Like, even with, like you said, with animals, birds, and everything. I'm like, that's crazy. There's so much shit that we don't know about. And I guess that's what really life, man, kind of is at this point. And like, I think all we really can get out of it is just learning things. I think humanity, and that's our goal, is to always just learn how to do new things, how to break barriers, until we've learned. Like, you ever think there's gonna just be a cap of the things that we can learn and just discover? You ever think if humanity lives long enough and they're able to document everything properly and in a good way where we were not too at risk of losing information? Like, imagine a giant library, like in Halo, how they have the library, and it just accounts of everything that's ever happened since its beginning or whatever. And I'm like, that's crazy, bro. That we probably figure out way too much shit. Because I mean, like, how advanced can we really get as a civilization? How far can we really get?
But then that's the shitty part about it too, is like we've actually lost knowledge too. Because
we've lost some knowledge, exactly.
Because they fucked us over, like people of the name of religion and in the name of God, they destroyed countless things, like sculptures, documents, ruins,
murals,
everything,
cities, damn.
All because it didn't fit the narrative of what they wanted.
This is my story, and they basically did a Chekhov's gun of the whole world. You know what the Chekhov's gun thing?
Yeah.
I recently found that out. I was like, yo, okay.
It's dope. It's like a Russian roulette thing, right?
It's a Russian roulette thing. Well, no, it's not a Russian roulette thing. Chekhov's gun is a form of story. It's a thing that you do for your story writing or script or anything when you're making a story. Or like, I think it's more for movies, really, or even shit. But say in a movie, right? There's like two characters talking, and then all of a sudden there's a gun on the wall, and the camera focuses on the gun. And that's the filmmaker's way of telling you that they're gonna. Well, that's a loaded gun right there. Like, you're seeing that gun, so you assume something's gonna happen with it. Because why would the cameraman or the movie zoom in and choose to focus on the gun if it's of no significance to the story or the plot?
So that's a specific term, Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, like Chekhov's gun is like what they call it. Is one way to call it. But yeah, they take out everything from the story visually. That like, say I show the gun, but then I never do anything with the gun. Like you see, you like think, okay, what the fuck? Why did they zoom into the gun? Is there significance to the gun? Does it mean something? And then you never put it to use. That's like, then why did you have it in your story? So what it does is you go through your story and you take out things that don't contribute anything to the narrative or to the plot of what your story is. So that could be a story with writing or visual. So like if you have something in a movie, you know, like a knife, it zooms into a knife in some dude's pocket, and you're like, why does this dude? Oh shit, he's gonna do something with that knife. And then the payoff is them using that knife. So the payoff would be them actually using the gun. But if the payoff doesn't happen, then they take it out.
Or they just you don't even see it anymore.
Yeah, you don't see it anymore. So religion basically had their story. Christianity, which is the one that basically they won. That's the one they say they won.
Yeah.
They went around.
But I think it's, oh man, see, that's what's scary too. It's like we've had this religion for so long, but then there's stuff of science coming out that's kind of refuting it. That's like, what the fuck, dude?
But there's also shit that's kind of helping it too. I read somewhere. Maybe it might have been a clickbait, but there was something that said like science proves that there is a God, or starts prove evidence that there could be a God. So I was like, well, I mean. But
then again, okay, that's where we're fucking up right there. Is what is a concept of God?
Yeah, see, that's another thing too. You're right, because
there's so much.
If you're going by religion like Christianity and shit, and any other religion, form of major religion, it's probably just made up for their communities. Because every culture has their own shit. Like,
do you remember South Park's version of God?
Yeah. Wait, God?
Yeah, South Park.
That rat fucking looking thing?
Yeah, it's like a platypus or whatever.
Platypus combined with a bunch of different animals. And they thought it was going to be like, thought you made us in your image. And it's like, what? But that's everybody's Christian views. I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Nobody really knows what
that Almighty Creator could or is.
Or it could just be
us.
We want to feel important, though. A lot of religions want to feel important. Want to feel like we have. I think want us to seem like we're more than just a human species that lives, right? Because we've been able to do this, so we feel more important than everything here. So we feel like death. We understand the concept of death, and it scares us. It scares a lot of people. And they would rather believe that something happens to them when they die. That death isn't the last thing that happens. Like something to comfort them. So they really hugely believe in this shit. And some people just take that shit to an extreme level. They just go nuts. So I'm trying to remember the point I was making because I got carried away with the whole religion thing.
Jesus.
Jesus.
You need Jesus in your life, people. Jesus Christ.
The concept of God. That's what it was.
Everybody
has their concept of God or what God is.
Yeah.
So we could really just be, maybe we were created by something that came to the planet and made us, but we want to make ourselves feel important and like we were created for a purpose. We might have just been created for just some side, like, hey, let's fuck around, let's see what we can.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing to think about too. It's like we're just a fucked up side project.
Not even for any purpose goal, just for entertainment. They just made us just like, let's see if we can make a store on this planet. Let's see it, fucking watch it and just get a good laugh at it.
I think me and Jazz were talking about it last time where South Park made fun of it, but it's been a concept before too, where we're just all from different planets put on one.
Yeah.
Like, there's a giraffe planet, and there's a bear planet, and there's a fish planet. And then they're just all, let's mix one of everything on Earth.
Damn, dude, that could have been it, bro. That could have been right
and
there,
then that's we ended up mixing with everything.
We're essentially the jungle juice of the universe.
Yeah. Some fucked up shit.
Just some cocktail of different species on like, all right, well, this planet can maintain all these different species of things. Like there's the land people, then there's the sea creatures. Like, okay, they pull different fucking like fish and sea creatures from different planets and just throw them in there in the mix, and then they throw us. But then it's like everything technically was balanced when we weren't fucking everything up with technology and fishing and hunting and gaming and just population of just having too many people do that shit.
Everything fixed itself.
Everything fixed itself, there's too many fucking deer eating up the vegetation. There was plenty of lions and other shit. They would just be like, nom, 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 alligators.
Bears, whatever.
Whatever, dude, just mauling at them shits. And then
even if forest got too big, guess what? Lightning storm, boom, started a forest fire, clear it all off, and you're good. It all just got regrown.
A bunch of motherfucking species might have been lost, but that happens throughout like time in this planet's lifespan, so it's gonna happen. We just think we're gonna outlive every other species.
It happens. That's the scariest part too. Is it happens more times than we've thought.
Yeah.
Like that's what they think too. Is that we've actually been on this planet before, but it's been wiped out by a global cataclysm. Then we have to start over again.
And everything had to. Damn, that's a trip.
That's why there's the pyramids and all that shit there, because they're just like, oh fuck.
That's like Halo, because Halo goes deep like that. Like Halo, like when you find out that the Forerunners when they first made the rings, they completely wiped out everything in space and then restarted all of humanity again and all of this shit. So, yeah, you said there's evidence that happened. Pyramids and all that stuff, that's a trip. Like, that's a trip to think about. It could have happened. Probably has most definitely happened.
That's the shitty part, is that we don't know. That we have these little, like, puzzle pieces that are missing.
Bro, that's what life is. It's just us slow. It's like when you get that phone game.
Horrible.
It's like alchemy.
That's a good game.
It just gives you the four. Bro, I can't get as far in that. I get far, but then I'm just like, damn, I didn't pay attention enough in science class. Don't remember what else to combine to make new elements.
Because there's some dumb. Unfortunately, when I played that game a long time ago, I actually looked it up and stuff too, like combinations. But there's some dumb things to put together too, and you're just like, oh wow, that's how you make humans, or something stupid like that.
It just like it's fun, but it's not really like. But the idea though is
you put a chicken and an egg and then a question mark comes up. It's like all
the chicken or the egg.
And the only thing it puts up is a question that you figured out a question. You've unlocked questions.
Damn, dude.
I'm just like, God damn it, I hate that game. But I remember
that game gets you mad because you're like, fuck, I don't know what other combinations of shit to make new shit. You get far, but then it hits you with like some. You really have to just figure shit out. Be really. I don't know. Just chance, man. But they were fucking, man, they took shit and they started all over again. So that whole process having to begin. Like, it could happen to us at any point. Like, we think we're untouchable. But if the pyramids, and if there was more advanced civilizations like in Halo, they had the Forerunners and shit. And then even before the Forerunners, they had another ancient, great civilization of humans that already, like, figured a lot of the universe shit out. And then they, like, got a hold of some fucked up information, and then eventually the flood and all that shit, like all that crazy shit, and then the civilization's lost again. Like that shit happens probably all the time, bro. We want to think we're gonna live a long time, but we're probably gonna be just another fossil.
That's what layer
of like.
Yeah, if you think of time span, dude, like as long as the United States has even been alive, is nothing compared to the civilizations. Like the Egyptian civilization lasted so longer than us. Yeah, like we're barely this much.
We're still going like until we have a new flag.
We're almost fucking up though. That's
we are,
bad,
bro.
Dude.
I know this is getting bad, bro. I was imagining that we just get bombed one day.
War with China is coming, dude.
And then just like Kylie Jenner and fucking all the Hollywood people just be somewhere randomly, and all of a sudden they just bombs from other countries just drop and kill a bunch of random people, civilian celebrities, like all the random celebrities that could just die. You just wake up one day and you're like, fucking all of Metallica was hit by a fucking meteor out of nowhere. Like, bro, we're, at any point we could just be wiped out. And that's kind of cool. Because, like, life is like the universe. Because the only thing that would completely fuck up the Earth and just take everything out is if the Earth itself was destroyed. Like a ginormous meteor, like more than half the size of Earth, or even just the size of Earth. It doesn't even have to be as big as Earth. But big enough to fuck the planet up permanently and destroy it. That's it. You know how scary that is? The idea of just, like, something coming and hitting a planet and just... There's so much bigger shit in space. We're so tiny compared to the like mass of other shit that exists, dude, that it's ridiculous, man.
See, that's what's crazy to think about too, is because even if you put our scales with like different animals and stuff, like dude, we're nothing, dude. We're significant. But then
in size though.
But then in vice versa, there's other animals too that are significantly nothing to us. Yeah. But they probably have this complex life structure system that we like. Again, ants blow me away, dude, because of how like not only they're stronger than us, they're more organized. There's so much more. I think there's way more ants than there is humans.
Probably. Probably.
That's already freaking me out.
It takes the amount of humans on this planet to like be into ants to take a human. Like people can die from ants. Like you can just get swarmed.
Yeah, and just done.
That would suck, dude.
And think about it. Is like say 5 colonies of ants the equivalent of the population of North America? Maybe.
It could be like
I don't know.
It's probably like. Well, each individual ant hill is probably maybe like the size of, like population wise, it might be. I don't think it'd be the size of a country. I think it might be a little bit smaller. Cause maybe watch people like get molten. What is it, aluminum? They just melt aluminum and they pour them down in ant hills, and then they let it settle and cool down, and they bury. They dig it out and they wash it, and you can just see all the tunnels, like, cause the fucking aluminum hardens up. Like they pour this molten aluminum down the ant hill, and it just goes into all of it. Just instantly kills all the ants, basically. Fries them the fuck, kills it clean. Like, that's fucked up to do, but they dig them up, and it's just this big this big old fucking hive of just, like, tunnels and shit like that. And it's crazy. I'm like, that's pretty cool. But that's crazy. That's a lot of ants that have to live there. But I don't think a country's worth. Maybe, like, definitely a state. But that's just one colony, and there's hundreds
of millions,
probably hundreds of millions of these.
I can't even think.
If you were to combine all the ants that exist now, that's probably like 100,000 times over the population of humans in the planet. So like if ants one day just all became connected and just smart as fuck, we're like, yo, let's take over this world. Let's make a giant, enormous ant fucking body thing and just destroy humanity, or just eat us, like.
See, and that's the crazy thing to think about too, is like what concept of consciousness are we at with other animals? Like, again, does the dog really think about being a dog as much as I think about how a dog thinks?
Yeah.
Like, that blows me away too. Like,
I don't know what animals just be thinking about. Like, we don't, like, there's animals with tiny little brains. And they like to say that we have the ability to think about these things because of our brain's size and the fact that we have a frontal cortex or some shit like that. We have parts of our brain that can break down like human. But doggies are like, they can feel emotions. So dogs and other species animals have big enough brains, and they can interpret emotions. Some of them can. Like, dogs can tell when you're mad. Dogs can tell when you're fucking happy or when you're hyped up. Like, they can tell when you're fucking dying. They can tell when you have cancer too. That's what blows my mind. Dogs can fucking read.
Yeah.
Like, they say that dogs can detect cancer in people. So, like, if you ever have a dog and dog likes to just really focus in on a certain part of your body a lot, like you see it staring at it or just, like, looking at it, like, say it looks at your knee, and all of a sudden you find out, oh, I got cancer in my knee. My dog was like, yo, there's something in your knee.
And, yeah, in your knee.
Can't get it.
Yo, bro, it's in your knee.
Like, if dogs could communicate to us, dude, if they had the ability to communicate and interpret our, like, shit, they probably tell us a lot of fucked up shit. Dogs would probably like know way too much shit about us because of their sense of the smell. They probably be able to smell if we're fucking dying, or if we have some kind of disease. Like, there might be senses and shit that the things that we don't know about dogs that they can do. Like, there might be shit that like we can't read or interpret yet.
That's what blows me away too when I take her for a walk. How she'll sit there and smell something for a good minute. Yeah. I'm just like, what the fuck are you smelling? Like, why do you have to take so long to smell this one spot? Like, you've been walking this whole time, and then you stop here, and you're just smelling this spot. I'm just like, what the fuck is
maybe
it?
Dogs are just, like, super, like, maybe their sense of smell is, like, memory. Maybe when they're sniffing their areas and they're going through their sweep, they're like, all right, I smell this spot, and I know what smells usually come from here, but then when they pick up on a new scent or something, they're just, like, intrigued, like, what is this? But dogs are always like that, man. I don't know why dogs are like that. They're curious. Maybe it's like, to them that's entertainment. Maybe to them that's like how we have the question, the thirst for knowledge. Maybe they just like to sniff things. Because if you have a dog from when it's a puppy, and if it's not a like feral dog that runs in the wild, like, it probably only smells whatever you were around, whatever you take it around. Like, if it's a park or neighborhood, if that's the only area the dog ever like lives in its own life, it's gonna be curious to like new smells and things like that. So there's probably things in nature that are constantly changing around us, and we might only notice some of them, but dogs might notice shit before. They might be able to pick up the process of something happening.
Yeah, because I don't feel we kind of have that same nature of being like curious and stuff.
Yeah. But
still, like, why do they smell so? And why is it so good? Why is the sense of smell so good compared to us? I guess you can kind of see different similarities. Like, look at our nose You look at their nose, it's a lot bigger. There's like this big giant receptor that's like huge before it reaches the brain.
Yeah.
Like that's probably plays a key role into finding smells and stuff. That's why they have dogs that are like drug sniffers or people that find missing people. It's like
with senses.
Yes.
Like, how the fuck does a dog just like? There's got to be shit that always stays in the air. Then there's got to be things that always stay for the dog to be able to follow it. Because it's like
that's crazy.
Because like if you're walking right and your scent, if a dog can follow your scent, like it has to be able to see, like it has to be able to perceive something, or be able to like with its nose. Because even some dogs look like they can't find shit, like they'll sniff shit, but like dogs will bury bones and then they'll fucking bury shit.
Yeah.
Do they ever forget where they bury shit, or do they know exactly where it's at by sniffing?
I think most of them do remember, right? I'm pretty sure.
That's something I haven't really looked into because I don't think it was ever. I never had this conversation of diving deep into dogs' train of thoughts, but you never know, man. They could be. Who knows what the fuck they're doing it for? But dogs are like human. Like they have their own process of thinking, and we just don't know what it is because we can't communicate with animals. We can't ask them why the fuck are you sniffing? Like you ever think if there's a species, right, that was more intelligent than us,
they could actually communicate with
but they couldn't communicate with. Just imagine a species, right, that sees us, and they're completely different. Like yeah, they might, like they see us fucking jacking off, but they're a species that doesn't do that. They reproduce differently, so they're like, but we can't communicate with them. So like, why are they doing this? Look at this weird creature. Why is it playing with the thing that comes from its pants? Like, what if they don't have penises or something like that? They see things that we do and they question it. Why? So, what the fuck could a dog be doing, right? Like, it could just be some stupid, simple shit. Like, if a dog was able to tell us why he does that, it'd probably be some like simple shit. Like, he might be really just making it out to be something more big, but we don't know. The sense of smell is pretty cool though, because a dog can smell the shit out of some stuff. So they have to be able to perceive things differently. They see things differently, and their train of thoughts. Like, what are dogs like? What the fuck does a dog? Our dogs are just like, what do they think about?
Yeah, see, that blows me away all the time too. Like even their spectrum of vision.
Yeah.
Like you have the light spectrum, and there's like all the way from like ultraviolet rays to X-ray and all this bullshit. Like there are certain things that the cats and dogs can see that we can't in that X-ray. And then you really look at like a cat's eye, and then you see like it's a slit, and then all of a sudden it like, fucking pupils right away. Up, How does that, dude? That is on another level. That's something that we can do. We just don't know how.
No, I mean eventually you might be, when technology and like biology shit gets super advanced, if it ever does, if humanity ever lives long enough to be able to do this shit, and if it's an actual possibility, which I'm sure it might be.
Dude, our pupils do that. Have you ever seen how it dilates and stuff?
It's like lights and shit, like from lights, like with dark environment.
Even from drugs.
Like when it gets like when the lights out, I think it shrinks.
Yeah.
And then when it's dark, it opens up because it's like receiving. That's like
the light hitting it or something.
Well, adjust to the amount because like if the pupil is like super open, it's probably absorbing a lot of light. So when you're out in daylight, it probably shrinks, so you're not absorbing too much light.
I'm trying to see if I can see your pupils right now.
Bro, I'm stoned.
They look mild. Like
I can see your pupils now. It's hard to fucking. You have to focus in.
Yeah.
But you have a fucking light, so our pupils are gonna be like, wham! But if we were on some drugs,
well, on mushrooms, obviously our pupils get bigger.
Do they? Is that how you see all types of crazy colors?
Yes,
shit?
He does it. That's what blows me away. I'm just like, what am I seeing while this is happening? Like
when I drop acid and I'm just like frying, and I see all these like tracers and lights moving and doing shit, and even the walls are moving. I'm just like, is this doing it because my eyes are fucking wide open? I'm on, probably could also because I'm on drugs.
I mean, because it's probably
it's hitting my brain too, so my brain's like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Error. But I don't know, that's some crazy shit. The eyeball, I feel like one day they'll be able to make technology where they can get a cat eye or create a cat eye and then just in your eye replace it, and you can see in that vision.
I'm still waiting for Elon Musk's Neuralinks.
That's fucking wild.
Talked about it a few times. I talk about it all the time on the podcast.
That shit's gonna be
a computer chip in your brain,
bro. It's gonna be in your brain. It's gonna be trial and error.
In your brain.
It's gonna be trial and error for a minute. You know, there's gonna be people that are gonna get all. They're gonna be like, I'm gonna sign up to get the chip brain from Elon Musk, and then after the chip and the surgery, they're gonna be like, it'll be all fucked up, like, man.
Or they're just gonna be like, I see everything.
Right? That'd be cool. If that's the outcome, that'd be cool. But the outcome for a while might be like
you're scared. Everyone's scared.
I'm retarded,
Everyone's scared. It's a
you're
scary
like brain
concept.
dead, or you're a vegetable, or you're just like mentally just fucked up. You're mentally disorganized.
That's why you're supposed to wait for version 2.
Right, that's like when the PlayStation drops. You wait for a little bit. And you're like, okay, let them fix the bugs first, and then like get the updated, improved version with all the fixed bugs, and put them. I mean, it's gonna be trial and error, man. Like anything new, anything wild concept. Like planes were a wild concept when those were invented. Like when they made planes, when they made the first like object to be able to like that was some trial and error shit. Like people were like planes. There was a lot more plane accidents happening, a lot more crashes happening. It was more frequent back in the day.
Now the crazy thing we're trying to figure out is space travel.
I know, but we still haven't figured out regular air travel because there's still planes and people that crash. Like, there's still accidents in the air.
It's called jet fuel. Going in the air that just burns in the ozone.
We haven't made a plane that's super human safe. Like, say the pilot just dies, the plane's like, oh, it's okay, I got this, and it lands.
Just does it all itself
on its own. Like, we haven't made anything like that yet.
But I mean, we're getting close. Obviously, we have cars that kind of start to do that now. I mean, they drive themselves. Obviously, that's not the best.
It's not the best. I mean, it's the beginning of the new era of like advanced technology. It really is, because there's like there's modern shit, and then there's gonna be like advanced futuristic shit. Like, whoa, it'll be that age when we're like if we live to be like 50, 60-year-old, 70-year-old men, we'll probably get to see like a big change in that. Because even from 2000, the beginning of the 2000s to 2020, there's been a lot of technology.
Yeah, the phones blow me away the most.
The phones, the projectors, the little pocket projectors you can put somewhere and watch a movie on a wall. Like the fact that I'm waiting for the day they have the completely clear see-through phone that you just be like,
Oh, it's literally like a piece of glass until you start fucking with it. Right? It's like a piece of glass.
Yeah, it's just a piece of glass, and you're just like, I'm waiting for where you can go, like that'd be dope. Like in Iron Man, how he just has all that shit. He just like.
Well, I think that would be the best way for that would be like glasses. Or like.
I guess so, because the glasses can project it.
Yeah, AR, right?
AR, yeah.
Is that ocular reality?
I don't know what the
VR and AR.
Virtual reality and augmented reality.
Augmented reality, that's what it is. Yeah, see, so it's what you could see, and then all the added stuff because of your visual.
Man, your brain must be getting so mind fucked when you do shit like that, dude. You think of people that watch porn with that shit?
Dude, that's probably gonna that's the first thing a lot of people think about when it comes up with technology.
Well, yeah, of course. There's like the people that. There's like sex technology.
We can't wait to come out with the robot.
Well, there's even like sex technology.
Do we have sex with it?
Bro, of course. They already have like sex robots. They kind of talk in some like, oh, hi, would you like me to suck your dick? And it's like, all it does is open its mouth. It doesn't even really like bob. You got to do all the work. I'm like, they make some shit in the future when they really like 20, 30, bro, because technology in 20 years can get, 5 years, it can get crazy and wild. So I can't imagine like when we're 50 or 60 or even 70, like
what it's gonna be like.
What shit's gonna be like.
If we're gonna want to even do it or not.
We probably wish we were young again if there's dope shit, unless we just go in a bad direction and humanity just starts becoming more and more fucked, where like shit's really falling apart socially and just I feel like I was watching, what movie was it? I think Player One.
Gay.
And it was like
gay.
But no, the concept of it
gay. Anyways, go ahead.
It blew me away because I was like, yo, that's crazy. Everybody in the future, everybody rather be in their virtual world than the real world. It's like the Matrix. The real world is fucked up and destroyed. So the only place that you can really feel like at paradise or like close to regular Earth, but it was nice, is like in the Matrix. So eventually, I think, if technology were to get crazy, imagine everybody just never wanting to really meet up. Everybody just wants to stay. Because sometimes there's so much shit that I could do, like technology, that I don't want to hang out with friends. I just want to stay at home and play my games or get on my computer, fuck around, make some music. There's a lot of shit that now makes it easier for yourself to be alone and isolate yourself from other people. Because you're not really isolated, but you are physically, but mentally,
yeah, you can be with everybody.
Yeah. And it can be in like your own comfort level. So I think that idea and that idea or that lifestyle is going to eventually might pick up in the future and be more like that. And there's going to be less outdoor social like gatherings, and people are going to just be more focused on staying inside. Like this whole Corona thing has been making people lose their fucking mind, because there's just places where people are really like just staying at home. There ain't shit open. Like here it's pretty lenient, you know, there's certain places that are still closed, but for the most part I could go out and go to a park if I want to.
We need to go to fucking Texas. There's comedy going on in Texas.
Fucking go.
There's no comedy going on here. Actually, we could probably...
I see that one place we go to open all the time still.
Which one?
The Red Velvet Underground.
Oh, okay.
That place is always open, but I'm down to try new spots for some shit.
There's you know what we need to do? We need to go, me and you, if you want to help me, we need to go to this place called the Boxer Brewery. It's on Tramway.
Okay.
They have like an outdoor patio thing. We need to tell them, hey, can we set up an open mic out here? I'll bring all the equipment, dude. I'll bring the mics. I'll bring the speakers.
Yeah, I'll help you.
And then we'll do it outside. And we'll host it to everybody that wants to come. And it'll be obviously quarantine safe. Everybody will be separated. I guess I don't know how it works there, but I know they're so open.
Dave Chappelle did it when he was doing his last little special about George Floyd.
Yeah, it was in the field.
It was in the field, but everybody had they had chairs, right? It would be like couple chairs, like two chairs, you know, for the couple or for whatever.
Or table, one table.
But it was like they had a bunch of I think 6 feet apart, maybe a little bit more than 6 feet apart from each other or each table. So
yeah.
It's different outside because with comedy and shit like that, like the good thing about being able to be heard inside a place is that the acoustics, everything bounces on. Outside, it's really just... So it's harder to get to be heard. So that's one of the problems with doing outdoor.
Yeah.
Like outdoor sets is that it doesn't have the acoustics that an indoor place that makes it easier for you to be heard. Because when you're talking inside a club, you can your voice bounces off the walls and everything.
And it goes through, yeah.
It goes through. Everybody can hear you as long as you're speaking into the microphone.
That makes sense.
But, I mean, I'm down to try it anyways. You know?
We just need to find a spot.
As long as we don't get shut the fuck... I mean, it's going to be a risk. We might get shut the fuck down by the police. Event hosted like that, we might get shut down because I don't know how they're feeling about people throwing events and if we do it somewhere public, will we need any kind of permit or? But then again, me and Fabian have gone to a public park in Edgewood before all this shit happened. We take a drum set and I take my bass and my amp and I hook it up through a cord to his car, like an AC converter, so I could plug it in and shit. And we jam out the park. It'd be the drums and people never gave us really shit. No cops ever came and fucked us with us because we weren't being super super loud, but just loud enough for the park and the area around the park to hear us.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's Albuquerque.
They won't fuck with us, dude.
Hopefully they won't fuck with us, but they might, man, because it's a gathering. You know how Albuquerque gets, bro. There's gonna be some motherfuckers that be cool, and then eventually, if it picks up,
then yeah, if it picks up and then it starts looking like, oh, these guys aren't following the rules, then yeah. But if we're trying to play it safe, then why is it a bad thing?
Nah, you're right. If you're trying to play it safe, then it's cool. And there's some people that would do it.
There's so much people out there that are dying.
They're dying for something, bro. They don't give a fuck. I was talking to Jeremy the other day, and I was like, he's like, I just want to go to a concert, man. At this point, I don't even care if it's a band I don't like. I'll go see them just because I want to see a concert. And I was like, what if it was the one band you really hate a lot?
Nickelback.
And I would think it was I think U2. He hates fucking U2.
They're amazing.
And I laughed. I was like, what if you had to go see a U2 concert? That was the only concert you could go see. Would you just say, nah, I'll just skip, or would you chance it because there might not be another one for a long time?
You would go to it.
He said, I'd probably go. Fuck it.
We would all go.
We'd all go, bro. Anything.
You know why? It's because it'll be online.
Online? Nah, if it's online, nah. Streaming, that's a different thing. I don't even care to pay for that kind of shit. People be paying to see their DJ perform on a digital set. It's it's not the same. Because when they come in and live concert, they have their good equipment. They have their shit so that you can hear it the way you want. It's supposed to be heard.
Yeah.
Loud speakers, big speakers specifically for this and for that. And
technically, yeah, but when road acts and stuff have to go, they have to kind of go with what the venues provide as well too.
True, unless they have a lot of money, unless they're well known, in which they have the money to provide their own shit everywhere they go.
That's hard.
If you're a fucking
I've seen.
If you're doing comedy and music, it's a different thing. Because if you're a famous group, like a musician, you probably already have a group of people that you pay to take your shit to everywhere you need to go to. You just get in the bus and you just cruise. But then there's a whole separate team that has all your equipment and they're just driving
Because okay,
selling all your shit. So it just depends. Like
I've only say that because I've seen big bands, really big bands, play at the Sunshine, and they use the house PA system.
The house PA system. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they still set up their amps, but they still have to set up a microphone to their amps to come out of the house PA system.
The house PA system for also like probably smaller venues on like
almost all venues, even what's it called?
Bigger, the Sunshine.
Even the Journal Pavilion, you'll have to do that.
Well, I'm sure the Journal has their own dope shit.
Yeah, because you've seen it, right?
Yeah,
you see all their that's
so
all their stuff.
That's all their stuff, so they probably don't need to bring their shit. Maybe just if they want to have their guitars and instruments.
So a lot of venues do provide that kind of stuff.
So the PA, I guess I'm talking about PA systems, not instruments, but
compared to like breweries and stuff like that. If we're going to like the comedy side of it, to try to find a place to perform anywhere.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be comedy. It could be a variety act. We could be like, hey, you want for 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes, it could be comedy, it can be
music, rap, slam poetry.
Or just slamming some bitch.
Yeah, whatever you want. Just
live porno. Like, imagine that. Like, come. I think there already is events like there was events like that where you could like go pay to watch a porn star.
I know you can do that shit online right now.
Well, I mean, OnlyFans, but that's different.
Dude,
I mean, imagine
what the fuck.
Imagine going to like a event where it's like a concert, but with porno instead. You're just watching like two famous porn stars like fuck, like Johnny Sins, fucking Asia Akira this weekend at the Sunshine Theater. Get your tickets now to watch the live fucking event.
Everything and anything.
Anything. Bring your own tissue. BYOT.
BYOT.
Bring your own tissue and lotion. BYOTL.
That's some crazy shit.
But yeah, man, I'm down with it. I'm down to try it out. So yeah.
So I saw that venue. That's one venue. Maybe you can look up or see some other venues. Maybe. I don't know.
So we're trying to set this up at a venue?
Well, not a venue, but a fucking
outdoor, like a park, a public park, or somewhere like that.
Somewhere like that. Or not even a public park, but like a brewery and shit like that. Somewhere that has outdoor seating at the moment.
Outdoor seating. I guess it would be like small areas like breweries. It probably had to be something like that. I know. Well, actually, my homie Corey, he works at this restaurant. And they have live acts performing at this restaurant. It's like the what the fuck's it called? I think it just changed their name, but it's on Montgomery. Like when that little hipster restaurant area. Like they got that Pocky restaurant.
Fucking
Pocky Poblano.
Yeah, it's on that. Wyoming and fucking
Montgomery. It's gotta be Montgomery.
No, it's Candelaria.
It's not Candelaria.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure like
it's on Candelaria or Comanche, one of those two.
One of those two.
But I know that because I had an ex-girlfriend and her dad was an actual architect.
Yeah.
And he designed Pocky.
Oh, he did. No, not Pocky. No, this is it's called Pocky Poblano. I think it's like that's the name because there's a lot of places with the word Pocky in it.
I hate everything.
And it's super fucking like, but they do live events there.
See, yeah, we need to try to get on.
That's what I'm saying. My homie works there, so I could ask him. I was like, what the fuck is it?
Oh, have you ever seen that show on Hulu, Drunk History?
Yeah, I've seen Drunk History. I got a couple episodes. That shit was pretty funny. I'd be down to do something like that. That'd be cool.
It actually got that would be dope too. That's a good idea, but it actually got canceled.
Did it?
Yeah.
Because why they're encouraging people to drink, or because it's like alcohol?
I don't know. It just says Comedy Central after 6 seasons canceled Drunk History. Most recent season will be Comedy Central's last showing.
Damn, is it because of the virus or is it because it just? Why is it? Why are they just done with it? They're like, it was fun.
Somebody else will pick it up, like fucking Netflix. Dude, there's so many companies now, dude. Amazon Prime, Hulu, HBO Now. Somebody will pick it up.
Somebody. Not there.
Dude, what's going on in the world right now? Some of the top trending things are COVID-19, obviously. President Obama. I guess there was what was going on today? The National Democratic Convention?
I don't know. I see these political things. I'm like, yeah, I don't know enough. I'm like,
but we have to vote, dude.
I was thinking about it. I might register.
I might register.
I'm like thinking they put a thing on Snapchat, so now you can register to vote on Snapchat. But it's like one of those things where I feel like I do kind of feel like it's pointless. but I see the importance of why we should vote, even if it doesn't really like, what the fuck is it?
Affect anything?
Affect anything?
How do you feel? Okay, so if you vote, are you voting because you're just gonna? Think of it as a school test. You know, you didn't study, you don't know what's on there, so you go to the voting booth and you're just like.
I'll probably try to think. I mean, honestly, if I vote, I'll probably start to pay a little bit more attention to politics. I'll be like, fuck, if I'm registering to vote, then I might as well learn a little bit about it. Because, like, a lot of my favorite people, even though they would bash on politics, they'd still learn about it. Like, Dave Chappelle, George Carlin, like...
Yeah, Joe Rogan, a bunch of people,
A bunch of people that I really, like, look up to or inspire from, like, they get into politics. I'm just like, oh, man. There is that aspect. It is part of, like, the thing that runs our world. So you should learn something about it. And I'm like, fuck. If I do register to vote, I'll probably do it. That's probably a new growing thing I should do. I should probably learn about it. But I'm like, am I really gonna change anything? Is me knowing anything?
In a retrospect, what do you consider yourself? A Democrat or a Republican?
I don't know, man. I usually base things off my sexuality. So what's I'm whatever other what is it, Democrats, what, Republicans?
Which Democrat or
which ones are the more conservative ones? They'd be like
Republicans are conservative.
More conservative, so they're more like
family values. It's okay to have a gun. Abortion's bad.
Okay, then I'd probably be the one that's abortion's okay. You can still have a gun.
See, that's taking ideas from both of them. Yeah. You're doing that. That's good. You're already doing that. Because but there are people out there.
Because I was watching some videos about capitalism and communism and shit like that, and like how the world is running now. We're kind of starting to take little bits of ideas from like this and that and putting it together to like form our more mixed. So it's like genres of music. When they make genres of music, at first you have this pure form of genre or this
one aspect of it
of music, and then you combine it with others and shit like that to make it like a hybrid theory.
I totally see that, and
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm taking parts of that shit, so that's.
But that's not what's happening here, though. Like with the people that are voting.
Yeah, they want it to be either or.
Like right now, if I asked you one of your point of views, if I was like, "What is your stance on abortion?" and then you say, "I'm for abortion."
Blue. I'm for whatever decision the girl. It's her body. I feel like that's how I feel about it.
That one decision that you just said you were for makes me think about all the other decisions, and you're for them in the opposite sense. You know, if I was Republican, I'd be like, oh, this guy's a liberal. He thinks liberal thoughts, and all because you said one thing liberal.
Yeah. No, I see a lot of that shit. I see a lot of people being like, oh, you think women aren't as strong as men? You're fucking sexist pig. You misogynist piece of shit. Like, I know what you mean. People will hold one thing and then make you that extreme.
And then there's other aspects though too. There's girls and there's women that are on OnlyFans right now, posting a lot of stuff on their Instagram, inviting people to their OnlyFans.
Yeah.
But when they don't want to go to their OnlyFans and they start hitting them up on their Instagram, they get upset.
Yeah.
So where is the fine line in that?
It's because sex sells, man, and sex has become a product, bro. Honestly, regardless of what you say, if it's art, once you start putting money behind something, then you're basically selling a product now. It's become a product. Like sex has become a product because you have pornography, sex actors and actresses that do porno. You have people that purchase OnlyFans and watch girls and guys play or fuck and shit like that. It sells. So, like, some of these girls, they don't want to really fuck guys. Like, it's like a porn star, right? Some people think just because a porn star is a porn star means they want to fuck everybody in the world or whatever and shit like that. But really, they're only doing it as a job, as a form of work. They're not really indulging it in it. It's like, they might be more comfortable in doing shit. Like, you know how you hear about gay actors? Or, like, people that do gay porn, some of the actors aren't actually gay in real life. They don't really, they don't want to date men or they don't have sexual interest in men, but they're comfortable enough to do gay porn. Like, that shit tripped me out. And I'm like, that's probably a big argument, discussion for another. Like, that shit will stir up because it'll be like, some people like, nah, you're gay if you do anything. Even if you, like, don't like it, you're still gay. But if, like, there's people, like you said, like, if you do one thing, they'll put you in that category instantly and they'll keep you there because, oh, you said this about abortion, then you must be, like you said, what, a liberal? or whatever, whoever the fuck is more comfortable with it.
I love how it's hard for you to understand the two too. Like that's just because you don't know. Like it's just it's so complex now. There's so much out there to learn where you just can't be like, hey, are you a good person? How do you feel about people getting what they need?
Yeah, like
that's it. That's all these basic questions we should be asking instead of being like, so how do you feel the tax cuts for the rich are supposed to be? There are some people that are for it. There are some people that are against it.
Obviously, rich people probably. Some people be like, if it helps out the other people, but like, I don't know.
It's hard.
It's hard, man. That's why I'm like, because if you fucking the moment. Because I just know, like, right, because I don't know shit about politics, and when I talk to girls who don't know a lot about it, and they try to engage to me, I'm like, honestly, I don't know shit, so this conversation with me is probably going to go nowhere. And then we'll talk about something else. But the moment I start learning shit about politics and I start forming my own opinions, that's when, like, those conversations with certain women are going to start getting volatile, and I'll probably lose a couple of friends, because that's how some people take politics super serious to the point where, like, if you're for abortion, then I don't want nothing to do with you, or if you're for this, I don't want nothing to do with you no more. Like, you believe in this. Like, that's why they make that whole meme about one of the things that causes the most arguments at family gatherings is politics. Like, Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas dinners have been ruined because at one point somebody started talking about politics, and everybody has their own opinions. Everybody has their own set of morals. So
yeah,
it's weird that people try to push their morals around to people, and they really want people to be like them because they feel like their way is the right way. And it's like, you know, I have my like ideas. You have your ideas. I think the idea is that we're supposed to be able to live in harmony, but people take. I don't know why people like. You know, I figure like, all right, like movies. Like I could say I like a movie, and you're like, oh, that movie's fucking gay.
Like Ready Player One.
Yeah. And I flip the fuck out. I'm like, fuck that. That movie, you don't know. You're a fucking idiot.
It's about the future. You don't know.
It's fucking brilliant.
The guy woke up with a missing liver.
You're fucking stupid because you don't understand what it means. Like, you know, there's people like that. They get in your shit and they think you're dumb because you don't know. But they don't think, you know, oh, you're not smart enough to get it. I'm like, well, everybody has their own form of talent. There's so many things that you can be a genius about. There's that illusion of like, if so, like Elon Musk. A lot of people I think because he's so smart that he can solve all the world's problems. But I'm like, no, he's only focused. He only really knows the shit that he studied and he's good at.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if he sat down with a really, I'm bragging, but not me, but a really good guitar player, he would just be like, this is genius.
This is genius.
Because he's just literally listening to the most, something he probably can't do.
Yeah, like, because he never like had enough interest to appreciate it and enjoy it, but not enough to want to know how to do it himself. That's what he is with his shit. But I wouldn't expect Elon Musk to be able to like make music, like produce. He might know how to make something that makes music. Like he might be able to build an instrument and invent a new instrument,
or maybe have a beat, a rhythm. He have a rhythm.
I'm not saying the guy couldn't keep a rhythm. He might be able to. You know, everybody has a natural rhythm, and some of it can be applied into music, and you learn how to make rhythm with instruments. It is a way, but there's some people that just are super good at it because that's their shit, and they're just like,
because that's what they do.
That's what they do. That's what their genius is. So, I'm like, fuck it. That's why I'm like, politics is not my genius thing. Like, I want to know enough about it just so I can kind of identify things in situations. Like when if I start getting out there in the real world, or if I'm ever have my own set of kids and shit like that, and like I gotta explain certain things to them because people have died for politics. Like people have gotten, like how people get killed over colors and gangs. People have died over politics and like ideals and shit like that. Like relationships and families have been ruined. People's relationships have been just torn apart because somebody might have been anti this and somebody might have been pro that. So the shit's just stupid. It's like, I don't know, man.
Okay, so like
another stressful thing.
Yeah, see, so here's another thing too. If you were to get into the voting and you wanted to vote, you go to the voting booth. Do you know that how many districts there are in New Mexico? Yeah, see?
I don't know.
These are all questions that are all...
all I know is red and green chili. Roadrunner's our state bird. So I think turquoise is our state mineral.
You got it. Is it?
I think turquoise. I don't know if it's our state mineral or state
rock or something.
Rock or some shit like that. Turquoise or state color. Turquoise is pretty dope. The real turquoise itself is actually pretty dope. So I fucks with turquoise.
Do we have a state rock? I don't think we have a state rock.
Pretty sure we have a state, like everything. Whatever they it has a state this.
We got one too.
Yeah, we have to have one. Like
gay.
It's like green chili is like what I think red and green chili is our state.
Turquoise, yep.
Is it like their state mineral or rock? What does it say?
It doesn't. We don't have a state.
I mean, I'm sure there's not a state everything, but there's a lot of state.
We don't have a state mineral or a state rock, but we have a state gemstone.
Okay, state
and
gemstone.
that is the turquoise.
Ooh, probably gonna buy me some turquoise.
There's a picture of it. Give me 1 second.
Make a grill. It's gonna just be turquoise instead of like silver or gold.
That actually would be pretty dope.
Just have a turquoise grill, dude. That would be lit, right? Like make a turquoise grill, or just have a bunch of little tiny pieces of turquoise instead of diamond. It's like turquoise. That'd be dope. We have like a state. I was like looking at it one day and I was like, well, "This is ridiculous." We have a steak. I think we have a state cookie. I think it's the bizcochito.
Yeah, I would probably imagine.
I don't know any other state that's like bizcochitos. Is bizcochito more of a New Mexican thing, or is that a Mexican cultural thing? Because I don't know if I ever went to Mexico and my auntie's in Mexico or families just had bizcochitos laying around. I think it's a New Mexican tradition.
I'm not too sure, to be honest. All right, so if you guys are listening, we're actually from New Mexico, and that's why we're looking up some of the New Mexico things. Let's see how much you know.
Hit me with that shit. Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the year that New Mexico became a state?
Oh shit! Like 18?
No.
17?
No.
16?
No.
No, there had to be recent.
The only reason I know this too.
1900s?
Yes.
Okay, so it was in the 1900s definitely.
Yes.
So it's probably like 1910, 1920.
A little bit closer to the 10.
So it's like 1908, 1907.
Up higher. 1912.
1912. Okay, I was gonna say
Yeah.
that.
And I only know that because my great grandma was born on that date.
Oh, that's
She was born in
crazy.
1912.
That's crazy.
Shout out to Gramita Herminia Lopez. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know our state capital?
Santa Fe.
Okay. Origin of name.
Of New Mexico or
Yeah.
Santa Fe?
Origin of name from Mexico.
New Mexico. I don't know, man. I would imagine that at one point we were part of Mexico and then we broke off and we decided to be New Mexico.
Place of Mextil. Mextil.
What the fuck?
An Aztec god or leader. That's all it says, origin of name.
Of New Mexico's name?
Yeah. What is our nickname?
Our nickname, that's our nickname. The Land of Entrapment? No, not Land of Enchantment?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say, I knew that one.
What is our state bird?
Roadrunner.
Okay.
I said that a while ago.
What is our state tree?
State trees in the piñon?
Yep.
Okay, I know that shit.
What is our state motto?
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar. Just kidding. No, our state motto? Oh, red or green.
Nope.
No. That's their state question. Wait, is there a state question? State motto? What the fuck? I don't know the state motto. Nah. What is the state motto?
Crestes en undo. Crestes undo. It grows as it goes.
Some shit in Spaniard.
Yep. What is the state flower?
State flower. Oh, shit. I don't know.
Really?
Hold on.
Wow.
Straight flower.
Wow.
Is it the yucca?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About to hit the boo.
Yeah.
Oh, the last second. Fucking. Wait, no, it's yucca.
The buzzard.
Bah!
Right at the buzzard.
Oh shit.
All right, state gem. We just learned that.
Turquoise. Yeah, hell yeah.
We have a state song. What is our state song?
Damn.
I didn't know this either, so.
Like, it just depends when we decided to have a state song.
You're like, what
year was the state song?
It doesn't
big?
even say that. It just says.
Is it like some classical shit or is it some like new, some Al Hurricane?
You wouldn't even know. It just says it.
Al Hurricane Jr. Like, I don't know. Fucking Sparks. Some Sparks song. I don't know. I will probably honestly will not guess it.
Oh, fair New Mexico.
Oh, fair. God damn it.
I know, right?
It just sounds like it fucking. They didn't have shit. They were like desperate at the last second. Like, just fucking make up a song. Oh, fair New Mexico.
Oh, fair New Mexico. It's not. What's up, Jeremy? Welcome to the stream. We're hanging out, just having a few. We got to get you back on. We need to jam some more. We need to get another Metallica jam on. State animal.
State animal. Is it a bear? Any kind of bear?
Close.
But is it in the bear family?
It's a bear.
Okay, black bear.
Yeah. It's a black bear. National parks. How many national parks
shit,
do we
that one I
have?
probably don't know. I know we have. Damn, we have a ton. Because even small national parks, there's like the big ones you know about, like Jemez and fucking.
Okay, see, this is weird. There's national parks and national forest.
Oh,
So there's two different
What's
ones.
the difference between a national forest is probably just not meant for a human to be in. Like, it's probably like some shit where you can't go camping or hunting. I don't know. What the fuck is the difference?
Okay, so there's 3 national parks and there's 7 national forests.
Okay.
And then there's 32 state parks.
32 state parks.
I don't know what the fuck that means, but that's what there is.
I'll have to look up the difference between these shits. State park, state. That's a lot. I wouldn't have guessed it, but that's pretty dope. New Mexico is just an outdoorsy area. Like, we have so much shit, and we also have reservations that we can't even fuck with, like, which is good.
There we have a state grass. I don't know why, but we have a grass.
Do we even have grass naturally growing in New Mexico? Like, why the fuck would we have grass, like, if it doesn't grow?
Okay, a state cookie.
Bizcochito?
Bizcochito.
Oh, I was right.
There's 2 for this one, but there's the state vegetable.
Remember red and green? Is red and green chili?
No.
No? Oh, shit. Corn? Elote?
Nope.
Okay.
One is chili, but there's another one.
Okay, so chili's one of them. So it's got to be hatch chili. So the other one has to be what? A vegetable. Something that we find more in New Mexico. What the fuck do you? Nopal?
No.
Is it like something that comes off a cactus?
You're going way too far.
Way too far?
Just think of something we eat all the time, dude.
Burrito? Tacos?
What's inside of a burrito?
A fucking meat?
And?
Potatoes?
And?
Cheese?
And?
Sour cream?
What kind of shitty burrito are you eating?
I mean, I'm getting some from fucking Philly Bertho's.
Dude, Filiberto's would have got exactly what I'm looking at right now.
So Philly Bertho's? Wait, what is it?
Vegetable.
Oh, vegetable. Oh,
and you already said chili.
Oh, I fucking completely lost it. At that point, I was like, burritos? No, okay, a vegetable. Oh, and it's in burritos? Oh, but most of the shit we eat it in? Oh, is it avocado?
Oh
No.
my god, I hate you so much.
A vegetable. Hold on, I'm trying to think, bro, so hard.
This always pissed me off too because
Potato-
everyone was always at.
Burrito. It's a fucking frijole de pinto
There you
bean.
go, dude.
That's right. Duh. Everything else besides the beans, because I don't like beans in my burritos.
Everybody at work too is like, "Oh, where's the vegetable?" I'm just like, "Dude, fucking bean, bro.
Bean.
Eat a bean. There's a bunch of beans in there."
So we consider beans a vegetable? I thought they were a little protein.
The amphibian, New Mexico amphibian.
Amphibian? Oh, it's probably like a...
It's a specific name.
It's a lizard, right? It's a specific lizard, I feel like.
It's actually a toad.
A toad? Oh, it's
Yeah.
a toad. I don't know. I thought it was a lizard, so I was going to go with lizard. So what kind of toad?
It's called the New Mexico spadefoot.
Oh, yeah, I would have never guessed that shit.
The New Mexico spadefoot, everybody.
Dude, there's a bunch of frogs around my aunties. I don't think I see one like that yet. If I see it, I'm going to grab it. If you kill one of those, do you get fined like if you were to kill a roadrunner?
I don't know. I don't think so. What about the fish?
Fish? Probably like... Probably some like trout. Is it a trout? Or
Yep.
Is it,
It's a
probably
trout.
rainbow trout?
Nope.
Or is it a brown trout?
Nope.
Is it any kind of colored trout?
Nope.
Okay, so the color's out the window.
Straight up.
Oh, cutthroat trout.
Flying up the thing.
So how they feel when you catch them.
Our insect is a tarantula wasp.
Fuck that shit. A tarantula wasp?
Yeah.
Oh, where you have two? A tarantula and a wasp, or a tarantula wasp, and that's the name of that species?
I think it's just a tarantula wasp.
What the fuck is that?
Tarantula wasp. Am I saying it right? Yeah, tarantula wasp.
Oh, so it's just a wasp, not an actual spider. It's just a
Yeah.
fucking wasp. Which probably looks like it hurts. That shit looks like it hurts, man. Have you ever been stung by a wasp?
No.
I've been a couple of times. That shit sucks.
I
dude.
wonder if it could kill tarantula.
Probably, because there's some... Well,
And then we see this fucker all the time, the whiptail lizard.
yeah. Well, we got a reptilian. Oh, that's the state reptile.
The what? The whiptail.
The whiptail. Okay,
The
so
whiptail, everybody.
I love catching these little guys.
We see him all over.
Dog tries to eat them. It's kind of funny.
You're just like, God. Yeah, the cat too fucking brings them inside.
I see
Just like,
roadrunners.
get the
Cool when you
hell
see a
outta here.
roadrunner eat them, because roadrunners don't drink water. They get all their like liquid from like lizards and things that they eat.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know
I
that.
was watching that. Bro, you know where I learned that from? I was watching they have those DVDs that come with all the classic cartoons like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. And fucking Wile E. Coyote's like setting up this water bowl for the Roadrunner that has like these sleeping pills or whatever. Or something. There's something in the water, but the fucking Roadrunner's like pulls up the sign that says Roadrunners don't drink water, and then it just goes meep meep and poof.
Oh shit.
Even though in later episodes it was drinking water, so it was like fuck that logic after a while.
Right. And don't they have that thing? Isn't that a Roadrunner? That bird that goes like this? You know that like.
Oh, the one that's like the drinks the
Doop.
whoop,
Doop. Yeah.
doop. I don't know.
I thought that was a Roadrunner. I don't know. Maybe.
That's
maybe
some
not.
classic shit. That's
Jeremy knew that it was the pinto bean. Shout out to Jeremy. He said it. I didn't check the chat though, but he said pinto bean.
Pinto bean skis.
He knew it before you did.
New Mexico, man.
Fire spread across Northern California.
Again,
Causes poor air quality and causes people to evacuate.
Damn, California already had. Well, I guess LA specifically already had shitty air quality, man. And then just a forest fire, fuck yeah, the air's even more fucked up. Cali is crazy, dude. A lot of people are gonna migrate here eventually. If shit gets bad. I went to Chicago a couple of times, and you can just, man, those bigger cities, like
You
the
can
air,
just smell it.
You can like smell it, breathe it in. You can just. It's like weird. You're like, ugh, this air is dirty. We have pretty clean air in New Mexico.
Dude, oh man.
We have pretty good, like, outdoor shit, pretty hooked up. Even if, man, it seemed like it, like, if you go up northern, like, towards Guadalajara or Espanola or even Santa Fe.
Yeah, dude, my grandpa's house, you would fucking love it, dude.
Green, luscious, like, bro, I want to go somewhere. That's why I'm going camping at the end of the month.
You are?
Yeah, if you want to fucking go, we're going the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th.
Damn, I asked for some days off, but I asked for the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Of the next month?
Yeah, of Labor Day.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going out on Labor Day. I'm going to go camping those days.
Well, I think we're going to Hammond. Hammond is only like an hour and 30, I think.
Well, bitch, you're supposed to go up to the fucking highest parts.
Well, we're going to go there because it's like convenient for now, but me and Dwayne are going to... He's going to buy a bunch of... Because Dwayne really knows some fishing shit, so...
Dwayne?
Like, Dwayne,
Dwayne knows how to fish?
Dwayne just knows some shit, like... Everybody, I guess, has their field of expertise. But fishing was one of those things I didn't know he fucking knew how to do because we never ever made plans to go fishing.
That's crazy though.
And then now that I want to go camping more and go like more, like I want to buy a boat, like a little rowboat that can hold at least like 4 people, and just be able to like fucking go row in a river somewhere. But nothing too extreme, just something relaxing. But I've been wanting to do more outdoors, and I was like, yo, we should go fishing. I was like, I just don't know what I need. And Dwayne was like, oh, bro, I know all types of shit about fishing. Because he even like told me techniques about something, and I looked it up, and he was right. I was like, oh shit, so he does know the shit.
That's cool.
I was like, so he said, whenever we like go, like we're not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna buy fishing gear because I do get paid the day before we can leave, so I could buy it that day and he can just show me what I need. But we still got to get our fishing license and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because if they catch you without one, you're fucked, bro.
Jeremy says, "Oh, I know everything about fishing."
I know everything about fishing.
We all know everything about fishing. I know. Like I've done some fly fishing and stuff, and again, where my grandpa lives is a fucking dope
That's what I'm
ass
saying.
area.
Like I don't know anything about fishing, but I want to get into it and start doing it because that seems like something would be fun because it's a way to get out in the nature and even like cooking. It's like one of my favorite things to do. So if I fish and I catch some tasty ass trout or
right there, dude.
Bam! I'm honestly gonna buy because I just bought some propane for my. Oh no, was it not? I bought some change for my mom, and I was thinking about, like, when I was there filling up the propane for my mom, I saw they had those little portable, like, ones that you put for discos, but you can cook, there's other ones that you can cook other shit, and I was like, yo, if I caught some fish out in the wild, bro, I brought my own pack of vegetables and my own shit, just get a fish, season the fuck out of it, and just cook it outdoors, bro, that'd be lit, that'd be so good.
That's a man right there.
That's a man shit, that's some hombre as fuck.
I'm just living off the land.
Hombre. Start, like, doing curls with, like, logs and shit.
Right. Running up hills
with like rocks and shit, boulders, be like doing exercises.
And not only that, they'll be like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, nothing. I'm building my house."
I got to break down this wood right now with my bare hands. I break it. I don't even need saw.
Why is Arnold Schwarzenegger in the woods?
Because that sounds like Arnold or fucking Stallone be doing that.
No, it doesn't.
That's like when you picture some like like fucking wilderness dude.
Some Russian big dude.
She's like, I built all this with my bare hands.
I did this with scrap.
Scraps. No tools.
I did this with screwdriver.
Have you ever seen those videos though of those guys that build all that crazy shit with just
like a few materials, yeah.
Yeah, like a few materials and they're doing, but they're really just making shit from the dirt, like clay. Like, bro, that'd be dope. Like that takes some fucking How long do you think they were doing that shit for before they just got super good at it, where they're just super...
That's just practice. That's where, again, the whole David Blaine thing.
Yeah, he was talking about the whole
It's
practice.
just doing it over and over. How many times do I tell you guys? All the time, dude.
About the whole thing.
You have to fucking practice, dude, all the time. That's the shittiest part about being good at something. You can get to a level.
Work, yeah, but it's a work, because like that's where a lot of people never reach their goals, because they're not willing to put the work.
Yeah, they do it for so much or so far, and it's just like, oh.
That's a mental thing you really have to work on, because it's not as easy. Even if you know you want to do something so bad, but it requires work, it's a mental thing that sometimes makes you not want to do it, and you have to really break that barrier, and it's hard. Like, I'm still breaking that barrier with the gym, because a couple of like weeks that I did miss, I'd go like maybe once out of those weeks that I missed, but then I wouldn't go for the rest of the week, and it's just like, I'm slowly, like, Jeremy helped us out the other day, because I was like, I don't really want to. But he's like, bro, even if we don't want to, we should go. And I was thinking the same shit. And I was like, because he said it, and we're both kind of already in our gym clothes. I was like, fuck it, let's go, man. We don't want to go, but we have to. Because even when you don't like I was talking about practicing, even with music, you got to, like you said, even when you're not having fun with it anymore, and it's not, like, entertaining, but you know it's, like, you need to practice.
You know you need to.
You need to do it, because it's, like, a brain muscle thing that you need to practice.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it, too. It's a brain muscle thing. Yeah, why would you... You guys are working out to work out your muscles.
Rapping, like, when I rap, that's one thing that I do always, like, do it to myself, and I'm always trying to improve. And that's something that I noticed change, because if I like go back in time to like what I used to spit, like, they would have moments where I really was on pocket,
getting some stuff going.
But I've developed like a sense of my own identity with it, where I'm not trying to be like this person, but I'm influenced by some of these groups, but I'm trying to find my own flow and my own style. But like, I'm working on things, but the only way you can really focus and know about it is you have to fucking put in the work. You gotta practice, even when you don't feel like it. You gotta practice. Like, you gotta do some shit. You gotta study some shit. You gotta do your research. Just practice. And that's crazy, the whole DICE thing.
Yeah, see, that was fucking amazing, dude.
I was like, for 10 years straight, just every day with
10 years, dude. 10. And that, you know what that is? That's actually a Chinese or Japanese philosophy for mastering something. You have to put in 10 hours for 10 years.
Damn.
Just to master something.
10 hours for 10 years?
That's the only way you'll master something. Yeah, so it's 100 or 10,000 hours or 100,000 hours. But that's the maximum amount of time you have to put in to be a master at something.
That's crazy.
Because even if you think about how many times you've rapped, you've probably only done it maybe like 2,000 hours. Yeah. That's it, dude.
Right. And it's like, well, there's things that I think about in my head, and there's things that I like lightly rap to. But there's times where I'm actually like trying to, even if I'm by myself rapping like I am in a microphone, or I am trying to hit like, to sound the way I want to sound, like
a motherfucking liver missing.
What my motherfucking liver? Like, you really have to practice your vocals. You really have to practice to know your voice when it comes to certain things. Just like even like playing instruments, you got to practice and practice to find what you like, and then after a while, once you figure out what you like, you got to practice it and practice it until you master it. Like you said, do all the shits. But that's crazy. 10 years to master something, like. You better know what you want to do and just stick to it, even when you don't feel like sticking. Because it's so hard, so easy to like have a goal.
In 2 years, yeah, just like, hey, let me pick up this hobby for 2 years, and then all of a sudden you forget about it.
Yeah, you forget about it. Like, you gotta buy fucking this or that. Like, there's things that you should like practice. You should be practicing, because if those are your things, like, fuck trying to be good at everything. Just get the few things that you're good at, that you know you're good at, and practice those a lot.
Okay, see, but that's the thing, too, is that I heard that you cannot overwork your brain to a certain amount to master everything, where you have to bring in the leniency of learning new things all the time. So you do have the mastery. Say you do rap for 10 years and you're an amazing rapper, well, then that's where you bring in the bass playing or the drum playing and stuff. Because not only does that enlighten,
it also helps one another.
Sparks, because
there's been times where I played some shit and then it made me want to rap.
Right, and you can you just imagine you're just like, hey, I'm gonna play the drums, and then you start doing like a, hey, can I rap like that? I don't want to know it. I don't want to, and then you're just like a sickle beat, and you're like, can I even rap with myself? Like, can I even go? You'll start thinking of different ideas and avenues to start inventing.
I do, especially with my bass playing, that's one of those things that I was like, if I can master rapping and playing bass at the same time, I would blow lids off of heads, because
That's a skill.
That's a skill. Like, there's people that do it, but like to do it in the level that I feel like I can do it.
It's
like,
all right, dude. Okay,
I
see,
just
that's
gotta
the
keep
thing.
practicing. That's the thing.
We think 10 years is a long ass time, but
not.
it really isn't.
It really isn't.
Dude.
Like,
it really
like,
isn't,
bro.
dude.
From 2010 to 2020, that shit
went quick, right?
quick, bro. And it's like I can still remember 2010 like it was yesterday in certain points.
Doing some certain things.
Certain things, like I still remember vivid memories of certain things, like feelings and even trains of thoughts when I was like in something. But 10 years, yeah, it's not a whole lot when it comes to like doing something, because even in like 10 years, a lot can change in a year, a lot can change in 2, but 10 years is still a good amount of time for you to end up like really mentally, because like that's crazy how that dude with the whole dice thing, like 10 years of just straight throwing dice, and that was like his shit that he mastered. He got so good at it that he could go to any casino and then kicked out because.
Well, he only.
But
won.
he only won. He only had a set amount that he wanted to win, and then he would stop at that, and he was done. I was like, that's fucking crazy. He found out something that he wanted to get good at, and made a live, and did it so well, mastered it so well that he made himself rich, to be able to stop doing it and just kick it. Like, bro, that sacrifice of like just 10 years of just all the things you could have been doing instead you just chose to like throw dice. Like, yeah, you're probably gonna miss out on certain things. Like, he probably missed out on a lot of shit. You know, things that he didn't get to do during his time of age. You know, like if you're, like, he just
during those 10 years probably sucked, but after the 10 years,
he can make his life a lot better. But it's if it's worth it. Like, you know, like if you started when you're young, if you did something like that when you're young, you're still young when you're done mastering it, and you can enjoy it to you. But if you're like do it and you're like now 70 or you're 50.
I know it's weird to think about now, but think about what you're going to be doing in 10 years.
Which is, yeah, exactly. If you might as well be doing shit that's going to take a long time, because in that time that passes, you're still going to be alive. It's not like in 10 years I'm clocking out of life. Like, oh, I don't.
Yeah, it's
like,
once I learn how to do it, it's over.
Yeah,
like, you have this ambition for the next 10 years or the years that come up. Okay, so say you do.
Then, what did you say?
Say you do start the mastery of bass. You're doing the 10-year thing. I'm trying to get it for 10 years, and then in between those 10 years, you develop another mastery inside of those 10 years. You're just like, oh, now I actually do want to still practice bass, but now I'm actually getting into basketball a lot, and now you start working on your basketball mastery, and then you have those two things that are coinciding with each other.
Because it's not like you can only do one every 10 years. You can do stuff, but it's going to take 10 years to master that, and that's if you stick to it. So while I'm mastering one thing, I could be mastering other things.
Yeah.
But it's going to take the time from when I started to 10 to master those things.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. You might as well keep doing things. Because, I know that music, like one of those things is music and comedy. Those are the two things I'm like, oh, but the comedy thing.
That's the hardest
That's
right
the
now.
hardest one right now because,
you can't put in those 1,000 hours, 10,000 hours. Dude, we can barely put in 5 minutes.
I put in 10 that one day.
Yeah,
I went over it, bro. But I have a lot, like, it does take a lot of fucking time to do it. But I feel like in order to master it, though, it's like going to the gym, right?
Yeah, that's one of the rules. You don't even get good at comedy until you're like 10 years into it. What the fuck?
Like, damn, nigga, I'm gonna be fucking 30-something plus years old by the time. If I stick, I'm gonna be like 40 if I want to master. But at the same time, there's a lot of great older people that do things like musician.
Like, Ron White, right?
Yeah.
He didn't start comedy till he was 30.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so there's no way.
There's no excuse. I mean, yeah, it sucks because you probably would have wanted it when you were younger. But the cool thing about comedy is, like, I feel like as a 28-year-old starting now, I have so much shit to look back on and make material from experiences. There's new things happening they can also ingest. So that's what I like about comedy. It's like it kind of keeps your brain sharp because you have to think about things from the back in the day. You relate experiences, you find a way to put them together in pieces that people are going to enjoy. But the only way to find out what's going to work for you is doing it, practicing. Like, regardless of what you said the other day, you're like, no matter what you write down, if you think it's good, you're not going to know how it's going to react until you actually put it in practice.
Yeah.
Like, you can put all these ideas on paper, but until it's put into practice, you never really know how it's going to play out and what works and what doesn't work for you.
Right.
What you need to work on.
You have an hour of material, but yet you only try 5 minutes every time. So it's going to take you at least a week or two to get through all of that.
And then it's just like there's a lot of other things that play into factors, like crowds. Like, some crowds might react different, but no matter what, you got to keep going because you got to learn. Like, if you're not willing to learn from like what you're doing, because you're not going to be good. You might think you're the shit, or you might think that you're going to be better than other people, but until you actually execute what you think you can do, it's like you're not really, like, you're not going to be that good. You're not going to be this or that. You're going to have to take some L's, and that's what those things, like, if you really care about something or you really strive for something, you got to keep doing it no matter what. So comedy is one of those things, man, that I'm excited about. But music too, those are those two big things that I want to like get really good at. And I'm glad I did that shit, man. I'm glad I finally got out there, man.
I know, right? Yeah, that's the first step.
It's only 2 times, only Notorious, man. I got a long way to go. Like, I got to go out there.
That's the hardest part, too. It's like the whole shutdown is like, fuck. I did, like, too. I barely started, too. I was barely 6 months into it, dude. And then this happened. I'm just like, fuck, man. There's people out there that have been out there for like 3 years. Damn it. I barely got into this.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, we're barely getting into, like, definitely have heard than I am. But, like, even this podcast thing, it's hard to get your comedy out there because, like, going out and doing shit in public sometimes helps. But doing shit online can go, too. But it's everybody's doing it. There's so many people trying to be Instagram, YouTube comedians and shit like that
some are doing it, some aren't.
Like, there'd probably be a bunch, like 100 great motherfuckers that are actually doing some good shit. Like, ooh, original motherfuckers. But because it's the big pool of motherfuckers, only certain of them will ever get the light. Will get the actual light.
Yeah.
To be able to make themselves bigger into something bigger, like maybe more famous or more, and like more people taking out your shit. There could be a lot of artists, but it's hard. But I think getting out there and doing it physically, like in venues and shit like that, and if you're constant, and then people start to notice, like, hey, there's that, like, you know, the first 2 times, I don't know if anybody that goes to that shit really remembers me, right? I only went twice, and there's been people going like a shitload of times, like
all the time, yeah.
Am I like those 2 times? I'm not well known enough to when I go up, they're gonna be like, hey, that's that guy. There might be somebody that might remember me, but I haven't been enough to become a regular to somebody's like visual. Like when you see, like when I used to work in retail spots, and I would see like this cute chick, and after a while she would come more, or like they would come more often, and I'd start to like, oh, after a while you might even learn their name, but they come frequently. And how long does it take before you start like noticing them and kind of start thinking about them when they're not there? Like I've seen this customer enough times that even when they're not there, I'll randomly like think about that one customer. So when in comedy, it's like how many times before people start noticing you as a regular, or noticing, hey, I've seen this guy around a couple of places. Like you had to really put in that work,
yeah,
to like start getting exposure, and then having people remember who you are, and then eventually seeing you someone be like, hey, I've seen that guy at this place. He's either really good, or they'll say like, oh, he sucks, or he's good. But they say any kind of attention is good attention. So if your name's getting tossed around out there and your visual like event is just work, and the only way to get there with certain things like comedy is you really have to put yourself out there. Music too. You could be a dope band, but if you don't go out and play, and if you don't make an effort to it and keep doing it, because how long would it take for somebody to, right? Because you have to master something. It takes 10 years to master something, but how long do you think it takes? Unless you just hit some luck, stroke of luck, viral video.
This is what I love about that thing too. I love how you're kind of putting it. But okay, it takes you 10 years to master, but you still have to master putting the music out.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole different. That's what I'm saying.
That's another mastery.
And that's why a lot of artists eventually just hire somebody who studied that kind of shit, that knows how to master
producers, that shit. Producers, like record labels.
Publicists. Isn't publicists the ones that put your shit out there? They help put your shit out there. A publicist is not what a publicist is. Like somebody that helps promote your shit, or a promoter.
I guess you could say promoter, but
isn't there people that they hire specifically? Like famous musicians will have a certain person specifically.
Yeah, like a producer.
No, not producer, but doesn't the producer make your music or help make your music?
He helps, like, okay, so say...
Who's the dude that just completely, whose just job is to promote your shit, to find ways to get you on the talk shows, to talk to people?
A promoter.
A promoter.
That's what I would say.
Yeah,
that's a promoter.
Yeah, promoter. You still get, like, that's still a skill in itself, because sometimes, like, that can be art in itself. Like, if you put out something right, but you put it out at the wrong time while something else, they might miss your shining light. Like, sometimes... Like, you could have a dope show, but if you're a promoter, nobody lets other people know about it. It doesn't get hyped up, and people never show up. People never see you. Like, you gotta, like, somebody's gotta put in that work, bro. And yeah, it's just saying, like, you can master the music, but you gotta master putting it out there, and that's crazy, dude. Like,
it's another skill set, yeah. It's gotta master playing with other people.
Right? Like,
you gotta master
your own skills, then you gotta master working with other people, then you gotta master, like,
playing in front of people.
You gotta, like,
I love it.
Like, there's so much work.
It's beautiful.
Right? There's so much work to be. It sounds like a lot, but really, like, I mean,
it all comes together. Like I was talking about, like, you think it's all one, but then once you start developing one, the other mastery starts coming up into the sets, so that you're like, oh, I've already been 2 years into playing guitar. I barely started playing the shows. So now that counter gets to start. Yeah. So now I'm 3 years into playing guitar and 2 years into doing shows. And now another thing comes up, and now you have this whole, like it's like I love to see it as a timeline, and in the timeline, another timeline goes inside of it.
Yeah.
And even though you have this big wide spans of what you started, these little ones are still trying to grow with that one.
Yeah.
And it's pretty. It's
interesting.
it's a dope idea to think of too, because everything is always learning. It's a learning experience we go through life. Even if you want to be that naive person who's just like, oh, I don't learn anything. I just go to work and do my job. It's like, you learn how to do your job.
You job to a T where you can get in that bitch and get out.
Interactions with the people every day. Whatever you do, how you do it, it's all a learning process every day.
People who are disabled and depressed learn how to master the disability so that they know how to do shit. After a while, they know how to do things for themselves, or they learn what they need to do.
Yeah.
So in reality, you can master any fucking thing, but it just takes time to practice it. Like fuck. That's why I was like, and there's even writing too. That's something I need to start doing more. And I sat down the other day and I started writing a little bit. Whether it's like a story idea, whether if it's a story idea I think about, or just me venting out some shit, or even just me trying to make up my own. Like I was watching that whole Matt Stone and Trey Parker thing. They're talking about the whole
6 days or whatever.
Oh yeah, they're talking the 6 days. But even they have that video had that how they write stories, like in between your beats of your stories there should be a but or therefore, and if you have and then in between those, then your story's gonna suck. Like I woke up and then I went to eat and then I went to work. It's like instead it's like I woke up, was gonna eat, but my fridge was fucking broken, so all my food went bad, therefore I had to go to the like and then you put that into practice and really try to make a story with doing that shit, and you really do notice like, whoa, like that shit in itself is like you gotta practice that. You gotta start practicing writing and like try to practice. Like I like learning new ideas on how to write because I'm still like learning, like I haven't mastered writing, I haven't mastered even like language and shit like that, so my own language. But that's something that takes interest because it's part of the art form that I want to do because I rap, so I should be writing. I like comedy, so I should be writing shit too. And I like to think about like movie ideas and sketches and ideas and scenarios, and I like to write that.
And that's all writing.
That's all writing because it's like different when you have it all stewing up here, but it does help out to write things down because you're able to organize shit more. When you try to write things down of what you're thinking about and try to put it in paper so other people could read and understand, that's a whole different ballpark too. Like going from what's in here to trying to write it in here, that's a skill too. Like that's something you gotta practice.
Yeah.
Learning how to like interpret what you're thinking about into writing form that's understandable and digestible for other people to. And even just mastering, like just writing and shit like that. Yeah. Like there's songwriting and music, there's comedy, there's just so much things. And I think that's one of those things I need to practice is writing.
It's a practice thing where it all comes down to
that's all I'm thinking about now. All the things I need to really practice.
It's all coming down to practice. Anyways, Irvin, we've been here for an hour and a half now.
Hell yeah.
Chilling, dog. Do you want to let these people know where they can find you? Just tell them to look back at the other episodes. Tell them what you want them to know for a closing note. Hello, my name's Irvin, and this is my final thought. Go.
Damn. I don't know. Swerving isn't too good at this. Final thought is I gotta practice some shit. I gotta get some sleep. Oh man, yeah, sleep. It's important. You can find me at SoySwervin91 on Instagram.
You said it.
Snapchat. Fucking fondle some titties. Is that what you...
No, I was just fucking messing with my fingers. But this is titty fondling to Irvin. Thank you guys for listening. You guys are awesome. Make sure to subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Just search MuseMe TV. Google it. I swear I'll be one of the first things that come up. MuseMe TV, everybody. Thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a good ass time. Fuck you. Have a good night, guys. We love you.